Vasudeva Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudidiyat Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 1, Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra. So last time we did some introduction for the first verse, and now we continue with the purport. The translation was, Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? So, although we discussed last time why Kurukshetra is called Dharamkshetra, but another point was because it is named Kurukshetra, so Maharaj Kuru, who's from whose name this Kaurav lineage came, so he also performed sacrifices there. He in fact plowed the field of Kurukshetra and he planted planted the seeds of dharma and peace and religiosity and Kurukshetra. So that's why it's also called Dharamkshetra. And the whole place is called Kurukshetra after his name. Okay, purport. Bhagavad Gita is a widely read theistic science summarized in the Gita Mahatmya, glorification of the Gita. There it says that one should read Bhagavad Gita very scrutinizingly with the help of a person who is a devotee of Shri Krishna and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretations. So try to understand it without personally motivated interpretations. And there are so many personally motivated interpretations um, or interpretations according to our understanding, which is very limited. Until we hear it from a bona fide guru, we cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. Mostly when we ask people, okay, have you read Gita? Yeah, it says, Karam kiye jo, phal ki chinta mat kare insaan. No. They generally, if you ask anybody who hasn't read properly, what is the one verse that you think is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? Oh, karmana evadikaraste, just karmana evadikaraste, just karam kiya. You have a right to do your duty, but you don't have right on your results. But there's another line in this shloka. And moreover, this shloka appears in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna spoke 16 more chapters afterwards. There must be some more important, better information must be given in those chapters. Otherwise, if this was the end, then why did he speak 16 more chapters? And then personally motivated interpretations are okay, Gita for management, Gita for this, Gita for that. No. We have to understand what is Bhagavad Gita all about. As Prabhupada is a widely read theistic science, it's not materialistic science. There's so much of information in Bhagavad Gita, but we have to approach it properly. The example of clear understanding is there in the Bhagavad Gita itself, in the way the teaching is understood by Arjuna, who heard the Gita directly from the Lord. If someone is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita in that line of disciplic succession, without motivated interpretation, then he surpasses all studies of Vedic wisdom and all scriptures of the world. Then he surpasses all studies of Vedic wisdom and all scriptures of the world. All scriptures of the world. If he just tries to understand Bhagavad Gita in the line of disciplic succession, so proper understanding has to be there. One will find in the Bhagavad Gita all that is contained in other scriptures, but the reader will also find things which are not to be found elsewhere. This is Bhagavad Gita, only in 700 shlokas. So knowledge that is given, it's found in other scriptures and which is not found in other scriptures. That much knowledge is given in 700 shlokas only. That's why this Bhagavad Gita is very, very, very important. And Bhagavad Gita, as you know, is part of Mahabharata. Mahabharata is sometimes considered Pancham Ved, fifth Veda. But Bhagavad Gita in itself is called Upanishad, Gita Upanishad. Upanishad means, Upa means near, Nishad means to make somebody come, sit. So this Bhagavad Gita brings us near the Supreme Lord, Krishna. That's why it's also called Upanishad. So Prabhupada said, so much knowledge, so sometimes that is contained in the other scriptures, but the reader will also find things which are not to be found elsewhere. That is the specific standard of the Gita. It's a perfect theistic science because it is directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. Now, Prabhupada says Supreme Personality of Godhead for Krishna. Now, we can think that, oh, he's from ISKCON, he's follower of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. That's why he's calling. No. Whenever Krishna speaks or starts to speak any words in Bhagavad Gita, Ved Vyasa himself writes, Shri Bhagwan Vacha. He never said Shri Krishna Vacha. Shri Bhagwan is speaking. So that the reader has no doubt in his mind. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The topics discussed by Dhritarashtra and Sanjay as described in the Mahabharata form the basic principle for this great philosophy. It is understood that this philosophy evolved on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which is a sacred place of pilgrimage, from the immemorial time of the Vedic age. It was spoken by the Lord when he was present personally on this planet for the guidance of mankind. So Kurukshetra, I mean, many times people say, oh, Varanasi is the oldest city. Well, Kurukshetra, 5,000 years ago, when Mahabharata happened, Kurukshetra was there. And Kurukshetra, the name of that city, Kurukshetra, was there since time immemorial. When Maharaj Kuru himself plowed the field, Brahmaji performed sacrifices, Parshuram came there to wash his eggs, Vaman Dev was there. So Kurukshetra is a very, very old city. Kashi is also, I'm not saying Kashi is not, but all these cities. And another thing is, many times people they say, oh, Kurukshetra is our body, and the five senses of five Pandavas, and mind is this, and this is that. That's the interpretation. Kurukshetra, the city is there, one can go, take a train from Delhi and go to Kurukshetra. The city is there. And and if scientists have analyzed the soil of Kurukshetra, so many warriors were killed that the soil is reddish in color over there. Around other cities nearby, the soil is not that color. Only in Kurukshetra, because so much of blood went into the soil. And the soil, they say it has some nuclear properties. Because the arrows, they were not just arrows, they were missiles. Arjuna was shooting, Bhishmitama, Karna, Dronacharya. They were shooting arrows. They were not just simple wooden arrows with metal heads. No. They were really nuclear missiles actually at that time. And the technology was so great, the trigger mechanism was not just physical trigger or some combination. They would chant mantras and shoot the arrows. They was very, very powerful arrows. And the arrows were, many of them, maybe not all, were like they shoot, and the arrow would go and specifically kill that person only who it was supposed to kill. So that is Kurukshetra. The word Dharmkshetra, a place where religious rituals are performed, is significant because on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present on the side of Arjuna or Pandavas. Dhritarashtra, the father of the Kurus, was highly doubtful about the possibility of his son's ultimate victory. In his doubt, he inquired from his secretary Sanjay, what did they do? He was confident that both his sons and the sons of his younger brother Pandu were assembled in that field of Kurukshetra for a determined engagement of the war. Then they place of pilgrimage, but they chose, let's fight over there. That's very anomalous. But Dhritarashtra now they started the war and he wanted to know what happened. Still his inquiry is significant. He did not want a compromise between the cousins and brothers, and he wanted to be sure of the fate of his sons on the battlefield. Because the battle was arranged to be fought at Kurukshetra, which is mentioned elsewhere in the Vedas as a place of worship, even for the denizens of heaven. This is a place of worship even for heavenly people. Dhritarashtra became very fearful about the influence of the holy place on the outcome of the battle. He knew very well that this would influence Arjun and the sons of Pandu favorably, because by nature they were all virtuous. Sanjay was a student of Vyasadeva, and therefore, by the mercy of Vyas, Sanjay was able to envision the battlefield of Kurukshetra even while he was in the room of Dhritarashtra. And so Dhritarashtra asked him about the situation on the battlefield. So, technology, look at the technology. Sanjay was given this divine eyes. So he could sit in the room of Dhritarashtra and still see what's happening in the battlefield. See, people cannot relate with this. So that's why they say it's all Hindu mythology. Okay, now we have the technology. Okay, the person doesn't have the eyes, but he can still watch it on the TV. So the camera has to be fitted there, whatever, in the battlefield, and the live telecast is there, whether by Starlink or by internet, whatever way, and people can watch it on TV. It's not that a person is given divine eyes and without any connection, he's seeing everything that's happening in the battlefield and giving a living live commentary. That technology is still not there, but it was there at the time of Mahabharata. Both the Pandavas and the sons of Dhritarashtra belong to the same family, but Dhritarashtra's mind is disclosed herein. He deliberately claimed only his sons as Kurus, and he separated the sons of Pandu from the family heritage. One can thus understand the specific position of Dhritarashtra in his relationship with his nephews, the sons of Pandu. As in the paddy field, the unnecessary plants are taken out, or the weeds are taken out. So it is expected from the very beginning of these topics that in the religious field of Kurukshetra, where the father of religion, Shri Krishna, was present, the unwanted plants like Dhritarashtra's son, Duryodhan, and others would be wiped out, and the thoroughly religious persons headed by Yudhishthira would be established by the Lord. So, so that is why the battlefield was chosen to be Kurukshetra. Because father of religion, Krishna, Lord, Supreme Lord Krishna himself is there. And he himself says in later chapter, right? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Fourth chapter, he says that. So whenever there is decline in religion or decline in religion and uprise of irreligion. I advent myself and establish religion. So establishing religion, here what he did was established Dharmraj, Yudhishthir Maharaj. So he is Dharmaraj. And the whole battle was arranged. One is to annihilate all the demons, all the irreligious people. Krishna appears to kill all the demons. But he had killed so many, but now he arranged this battlefield. So all these demons are assembled in Kurukshetra. So he doesn't have to go all over kill. So that, I mean, so, and also to establish Yudhishthira Maharaj as an emperor of the world, of the whole world, not just of India, not of a little um, kingdom called Hastinapur or Indraprasth, of the whole world. The whole world was ruled by, the capital was Indraprasth. Uh, so, so the whole war was orchestrated to bring Yudhishthira Maharaj as emperor, to establish him as emperor. And why Yudhishthira Maharaj? Many times people just remember him getting defeated in the game of dice, that he was a Juhari. No, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Krishna, the Supreme Lord, would not establish just some Johari as emperor of the world. No. Yudhishthira Maharaj was one reason why he played that game, agreed to play the game of dice, because he said it rightly when Vidurji went to invite him as Dhritarashtra's messenger. He said, and a Kshatriya cannot refuse the challenge of dice or of war. The cheating was done by Duryodhana and Shakuni. Yudhishthira Maharaj just could not say no. And then many times people blame him. Why did he put Draupadi as a wager? There are many reasons. One was, well, he thought, one reason why he thought, I have lost everything, maybe Draupadi would be my lucky charm and I would win everything back. And second was, he's a Dharmaraj. Not an ordinary person. He knew everything about Dharma. And Dharmaraj Yudhishthir also, it meant he had never even thought of committing a sin. Forget about committing a sin. That's how righteous he was. And then when this point came up, and Duryodhan, Karna, they all instigated him to put Draupadi as a wager. Another point he had was, if this is what is going to happen, it is going to happen. This is what Krishna wants, it will happen. Full faith in Krishna. And as we studied in Srimad Bhagavatam, when Yudhishthira Maharaj became the king, the emperor after this battlefield of Battle of Mahabharat, he was such a righteous ruler and ruled according to the scriptures that not a single person in his kingdom had to face the three miseries that everybody faces in the material world. Adidevik, Adibhautik, Adhyatmik Klesh. Not a single person Can we believe that that kind of rule all over the world? He was the emperor of the world. Nobody had to face that. Nobody had to face any problems with the hunger or famine or crop problem or unnecessary rain or this or that. No unnecessary change of weather all over the world. Historians, they have no idea about all this. It was only 5,000 years ago, not very long ago, only 5,000 years ago. And I just, okay, I'll end the class with this. Even Bhima, I mean, we see Bhima just a warrior and just bullying everybody. Duryodhana was bullying, but he was a good warrior and but just a big guy. Once one person came to see Yudhishthir Maharaj in the court, and Yudhishthir Maharaj was busy, so he just told the doorkeeper to let the person go. He said, "Just come back tomorrow. I'll listen to whatever you have to say tomorrow." So the person was depressed, but he was leaving, that he didn't get a chance to meet Yudhishthira Maharaj. So he saw Bhima on the way. And Bhima asked him, "Wow, why you look so sullen? So, I mean, what happened? You should be happy." "Oh, I came to see Yudhishthira Maharaj, but he is busy and he has asked me to come back tomorrow." Bhima said, "Oh, that is so?" Yudhishthira Maharaj said that, "Yes." So I mean, normally we see in the movies there was a big gong outside the outside the palaces, and Bhima went and he started beating that gong, make a big sound. So it was like a emergency call. And when Bhima is hitting it, it must be really making sound. So everybody came running. What happened? What happened? Bhima, why you hitting this gong? And Yudhishthira Maharaj also came, and Bhima was saying, "I am very happy today. I'm ecstatic." "Why? What happened? What's the reason for ecstasy?" He said, "My brother Yudhishthira has conquered death. So I'm very happy, very ecstatic." And Yudhishthira Maharaj said, "What are you talking about? I have conquered death. What is going on? I never said anything like that. Where do you hear that?" He said, "Well, you told this person that you will see him tomorrow, so means you have conquered death. You know you're not going to die until tomorrow. So that's why I'm very ecstatic." And Yudhishthira Maharaj understood the mistake he made, and he talked to that person and took care of his business. This is this is real, I mean, the rulers. So that is why Krishna wanted to establish Yudhishthira Maharaj on the throne with all the four Pandavas, rest of the four Pandavas helping him in the kingdom. Okay, so we can stop here. Is there any question or comment?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's so interesting. So interesting that I think the third time, fourth time I'm just, reading it. It's very, very interesting.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, very interesting. Is there any chance, Prabhuji, we can study Mahabharata also? Any?
I don't know. Let's complete Chaitanya Bhagavat.
I know, नहीं, not exactly चैतन्य भागवत तो चल ही रहा है. Otherwise, it's like और महाभारत में भी is there any गीता का पार्ट पूरा आता है उसमें? They have it,
Ah,
I think.
yeah, full
पूरा
Gita.
ये पूरा ही आते हैं श्लोक and all.
Yeah, yeah.
हाँ, okay, okay.
Okay. Yeah,
ठीक है,
safe and
thank you.
wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri
Thank you.
Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.